The Sunday family dinner is officially dead, not by choice, but by economics. In 2026, over 1,500 locations, from icons like Pizza Hut, Denny's, and TGI Fridays, are shutting down for good. These weren't just restaurants, they were third places where communities gathered, and a $20 bill could feed a family. But with prices doubling and the middle class priced out, this isn't just a business cycle, it's the collapse of an American institution.
So let's count down the 10 restaurant chains closing the most locations in 2026 and look at what we're really losing.
Number 10. Noodles & Company. You might not think of Noodles & Company as a family place, but for millions of working families, it meant something. Fast, affordable, and just healthy enough to feel okay about feeding the kids. In 2026, they're closing more stores after years of losing money. Same-store sales dropped, customer traffic fell, and there's no path forward.
What went wrong?
Same thing hitting every casual dining place. Food costs exploded. A simple bowl of pasta that cost $7.99 3 years ago now runs close to $13. That's a 63% jump. Labor shortages mean slower service and higher wages. Many locations can't even keep a skeleton crew on shift. And the customer base, working families watching every dollar, just stopped coming. Traffic at the average location dropped nearly 20% since 2023. Walk into one at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday and you'll see maybe 3 tables filled in a restaurant built for 50 people. It's not that the food got worse, the family budget got tighter. When groceries cost 30% more than they did in 2020, eating out becomes a luxury, not a routine. The closures aren't dramatic, just quiet exits in strip malls across the Midwest and South. One day the lights are on, next week there's a for lease sign. But each one is another option lost. For seniors on fixed incomes who met grandchildren here for quick lunches, it's one more affordable option erased. Number 9. Starbucks. Wait, Starbucks? The coffee giant on every corner? Yes, even Starbucks is pulling back. The company announced plans to close 400 to 500 North American locations. They're calling it an efficiency overhaul. Translation: too many stores, not enough customers willing to pay $7 for a latte. These aren't random closures. They're planned exits from neighborhoods where the math stopped working. For older Americans, Starbucks was never just about coffee. It was a place to meet friends, read the paper, that comfortable chair by the window where you'd sit with your book and watch the world go by.
But in 2026, even that ritual is pricing people out.
Senior discounts disappeared years ago. A tall coffee that cost $2.45 in 2019 now runs $3.75 or more. And the whole atmosphere changed. From cozy gathering spot to rushed transaction counter built for mobile orders. There's no more lingering. The stores closing are older locations in suburban neighborhoods, where foot traffic fell and rents stayed high. Many served communities of retirees who can't justify $6 for coffee anymore. Not when a can of Folgers costs $12 and lasts 2 weeks. And here's what nobody's saying. These closures leave gaps. In some suburban areas, that Starbucks was the only third place left where seniors could meet friends without spending $30 on a meal. This isn't about Starbucks failing. It's about even the biggest players realizing something. The American consumer is tapped out. When coffee becomes a luxury, you know the economy isn't working. Number 8. Outback Steakhouse. Outback built its brand on one promise: a decent steak dinner at a price working families could afford. The Bloomin' Onion became famous. The sizzling steaks made it feel special without feeling expensive. But in 2026, that promise is breaking. The chain is quietly closing older locations as leases run out. Dozens going dark across the country. No announcements, just empty parking lots where cars used to line up on Friday nights. Why? A Bloomin' Onion and 2 steaks that cost $35 5 years ago now runs close to $65. That's not a dinner, that's sticker shock on steroids. Beef prices went up 40% since 2021. Labor costs jumped. Insurance and rent crushed already thin margins. But here's what really killed Outback. The target customer disappeared. Middle-income families celebrating paychecks and anniversaries. With wages flat and inflation eating everything, those celebration dinners became impossible. Social Security checks don't stretch to cover $70 dinners. Not when utilities are up, insurance is up, groceries are breaking the bank. Outback's traffic dropped 18% year over year. Many locations are reporting their slowest weekends in decades. The suburban steakhouse once packed on Friday nights
now feels like a ghost town. For a generation that remembers when a steak dinner was an affordable treat, watching Outback close hits different. It's not just a restaurant dying, it's proof. The middle-class lifestyle you worked for is slipping away. The promise that if you worked hard, you could afford a steak dinner once a month, that promise is broken. Number 7. Hooters. Hooters filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and started selling off company-owned stores in late 2025. Closures are expected to speed up through 2026. Analysts think more than half of remaining locations could vanish within 18 months. Now, Hooters was never going to win awards for class, but for a certain generation of American workers, it was a go-to spot: wings, beer, and sports. The model worked for decades: low food costs, high volume. But in 2026, everything that made Hooters profitable collapsed at once. Food costs up 35%, especially chicken wings, which doubled in price during the pandemic and never came back down. Labor shortages making it impossible to staff locations, and changing cultural attitudes making the brand feel dated. But the real problem was simpler. The core customer, working-class men stopping by after a shift, doesn't have the money anymore. When a plate of wings and a beer costs $22, it stops being a casual stop. It starts being a budget decision. The bankruptcy filings showed what many suspected. Most locations were losing money, kept alive only by franchise fees and hope. That hope ran out. Debt exceeded $300 million. For communities that counted on Hooters as a local hangout, the closures feel like another piece of working-class culture getting erased. Not because tastes changed, because people can't afford to participate anymore. Number 6. Boston Market. Boston Market isn't just closing locations, it's nearly extinct. Once boasting over 1,100 stores at its peak, the chain is down to just a few dozen locations left in 2026. The rotisserie chicken empire that defined fast casual comfort food for a generation is basically dead. Walk through most American cities, and you'll see the ghost of Boston Market. Empty buildings with faded signs, parking lots where weeds grow through the cracks. What killed it? Mismanagement played a role, but the deeper issue was economic. Boston Market's whole pitch was home-style meals at prices cheaper than cooking yourself. For seniors and working families, it was the answer to what's for dinner without the hassle. But when chicken prices doubled and customers started stretching every dollar, that value pitch disappeared. A family meal that cost $25 in 2020 climbed to $45 by 2025. Suddenly, buying a whole chicken at the grocery store made more sense. The chain tried everything. Menu changes, rebranding, meal deals. Nothing worked. By 2024, many locations were running on skeleton crews, running out of menu items by dinner time. Some stores had handwritten signs saying temporarily closed that stayed up for months. For families that grew up linking Boston Market with Thanksgiving and Sunday dinners, the collapse is personal. That rotisserie chicken smell that meant home is gone, replaced by empty storefronts and memories. Before we move on to number 5, I need to ask you something. I want you to become a part of my family of subscribers. It's completely free, and it just ensures you get notified when new episodes are ready for you to watch. Honestly, when I see a new viewer join the family, it really means a lot to me. So please, click that like and subscribe button, if you please. Now, let's move on. Number 5, Red Lobster. Red Lobster, the chain that brought seafood to Middle America, is closing 23 more locations in 2026, part of its ongoing bankruptcy restructuring. But here's what you need to know. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't changing tastes. This was private equity. For millions of working families, Red Lobster wasn't fancy. It was special. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduation dinners. The endless shrimp deals and Cheddar Bay biscuits were traditions. Parents brought their kids, who grew up and brought their own kids. But in 2026, those traditions are dying, and private equity killed them. Here's how it worked. In 2014, private equity firm Golden Gate Capital bought Red Lobster and immediately started pulling money out. They sold off the real estate Red Lobster owned, then leased it back to the company at higher rates. That move put $1.5 billion in Golden Gate's pocket, but it stuck Red Lobster with crushing lease payments it could never afford. Then came the endless shrimp disaster. The promotion that made Red Lobster famous got pushed too hard. Shrimp costs exploded, but corporate kept the deal going, bleeding millions every quarter. Why? Because it drove traffic, even if it destroyed any chance of making money.
This is the private equity playbook. Load the company with debt, pull out real estate value, squeeze every dollar until there's nothing left. Then declare bankruptcy and walk away. Golden Gate made its money. The workers and communities got nothing but closed restaurants. For older Americans who remember when taking the family to Red Lobster was an affordable treat, the closures sting. It's not just losing a restaurant. It's losing access to experiences that once defined the American middle class. And when you realize private equity destroyed it on purpose, it becomes clear. This isn't an accident. It's a system designed to pull out wealth and leave nothing behind. Number 4. Wendy's. Wendy's, once the underdog challenger to McDonald's and Burger King, is closing 200 to 350 underperforming locations through 2026. That's a massive pullback for a chain that took pride in growth. The square patties, the Frosty, all of it built on being the affordable alternative. But that alternative is dying. The 4 for $4 deal that defined Wendy's value pitch is dead. It now costs close to $8, a 100% increase in just 4 years. The Frosty, once 99 cents, has doubled in price. And the Dave's single combo that used to feed a working parent for under $6 now runs $11 or more. For seniors on Social Security who remember when fast food meant cheap, these prices are insulting. But here's what's really happening. Fast food was supposed to be the safety net. When sit-down restaurants got too expensive, families could still afford McDonald's or Wendy's. It was the fallback. But in 2026, even that safety net is gone. A family of 4 spending $45 at Wendy's might as well cook at home for half the cost. That calculation, repeated millions of times across America, is killing Wendy's. The result? Traffic down 12%, profits collapsing, and franchise owners quietly walking away. In some markets, they're just handing back the keys because the math doesn't work anymore. For older Americans who remember when fast food meant cheap and fast, Wendy's decline is a symbol of something bigger, the breakdown of affordability at every level. When even the value menu is unaffordable, you know the economy isn't working for everyday people. The promise that there would always be a cheap meal option, that's gone. Number 3. TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in late 2025 and closed over 100 corporate-owned stores almost right away. More closures are expected throughout 2026. For anyone over 50, this one stings. Fridays wasn't just a restaurant. It was the place. Birthday parties with singing waiters, after-work drinks where loaded potato skins made the week bearable, family dinners where the kids got crayons and the adults got a break from cooking. Those red and white striped awnings meant fun. The chain basically invented casual dining as we know it, turning restaurants into gathering places. But in 2026, that model is dead. Fridays tried everything. Menu changes, delivery partnerships, rebranding attempts, nothing worked. The core problem was simple. The experience that made Fridays special became a luxury. When appetizers alone cost $16 and entrees push $22, a family dinner at Fridays isn't casual anymore. It's a budget decision that gets rejected. For someone on an $1,800 Social Security check, spending $60 on dinner is impossible. Not when rent, utilities, and groceries already eat up more than that check. Add in rising rents, labor shortages, and competition from fast casual chains, the company collapsed under its own weight. The bankruptcy filings showed what insiders knew. Most locations lost money for years. Debt exceeded $600 million. There was no path forward. The closures aren't just business. They're the death of something cultural. For a generation that remembers when Fridays meant freedom and fun, watching it disappear is proof. The middle-class lifestyle they built is slipping away for good. Those memories of celebrations, the feeling of being able to afford a night out, they're all tied to places like Fridays. And when those places vanish, the memories feel more distant, like proof that those times really are gone forever. Number 2. Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is closing 250 locations in early 2026. Confirmed by parent company Yum Brands. That's not a trim, that's a collapse. That's 250 communities losing a gathering place. Thousands of jobs vanishing. And for families over 50, it's the death of something you can't replace. Pizza Hut wasn't just pizza. It was book it reading rewards that got your kids excited about reading. Birthday parties in the dining room with that red plastic cup and personal pan pizza.
Friday night traditions, where everyone got their own pizza and the family actually sat together. Those red roofs and checkered tablecloths were part of the American landscape for 50 years. But in 2026, that landscape is disappearing. The problems are stacked. Delivery competition from Domino's and DoorDash destroyed Pizza Hut's pricing edge. A large pizza that cost $12 5 years ago now runs $22, plus delivery fees that add another $6. Suddenly, that convenient pizza night costs $30 before you even think about drinks or breadsticks. Dine-in locations became dead weight as customers shifted to carry-out and delivery. Those dining rooms that used to host birthday parties now sit empty, costing money while making nothing. And the customer base just stopped coming. Pizza Hut traffic dropped 15% year over year. Drive by a Pizza Hut at 6 p.m. and you'll see maybe 2 cars in the parking lot. That's a death spiral. But here's what makes this hurt. Pizza Hut closures aren't just in cities where there are other options. They're in small towns, where the Hut was one of the few sit-down places left. When it closes, entire communities lose a gathering spot. For older Americans who brought their kids and grandkids to Pizza Hut, the closures mean something deeper, the end of affordable family traditions. And when you realize your grandkids will never experience what you experienced, that your memories can't become their memories, it hits different. The realization that the America you knew is gone. Number 1, Denny's. The Grand Slam is over. Denny's, America's diner, the 24-hour place for truckers, seniors, and families, is closing 150 locations in 2026. Let that sink in. The place that promised to always be open, where coffee was bottomless and breakfast cost less than $8, is shutting down. This is number 1 because it represents the complete collapse of the promise. For anyone over 60, Denny's was more than a restaurant. It was a constant. The place you'd meet friends after church on Sunday morning, where your morning coffee crew gathered at 6 a.m. Same booth, same waitress, same order every single day, where you could stretch $10 into a full meal and sit for hours without being rushed. In a world that kept changing, Denny's stayed the same. But in 2026, that constant is gone. A Grand Slam breakfast that cost $7.99 in 2020 now runs $14 or more. That's a 75% increase in 6 years. For someone on a fixed Social Security income, that difference is the difference between going out and staying home. Coffee, once bottomless and free-flowing, now comes with a charge at some locations. That bottomless coffee, that was part of the deal. That was why you went. And the late-night crowd that kept Denny's alive vanished. Staffing shortages forced many locations to close overnight, killing their unique thing. When you're no longer 24 hours, you're just another diner, and frankly, not a very good one. But the real tragedy is what Denny's stood for. It was proof that America still had places for regular people, affordable, simple, and always there. You didn't need to dress up. You didn't need a reservation. You could walk in with $10 and leave full. That was the promise. Watching it close is watching that promise break. For communities losing their Denny's, it's not just a restaurant disappearing. It's the loss of a third place, a gathering spot that held neighborhoods together. For seniors who met friends there every week, it's the loss of community. Where do you go now? Where do you gather when there's nowhere affordable left? When Denny's, the ultimate regular person diner, can't survive, it's proof. The economy isn't designed for everyday people anymore. The Sunday family dinner isn't dead because people stopped caring. It died because they can't afford it. And that's a collapse no bailout can fix. So here's my question for you. Which of these restaurant closures hits you the hardest? Was there a place on this list where you made memories with your family? Where you celebrated milestones? Where you felt like you belonged? Drop a comment below and tell me your story. Because these aren't just restaurants closing. They're pieces of American life vanishing. And if this information opened your eyes to what's really happening to the economy, share this video with someone who needs to see it. And one more friendly reminder to click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is EconoNova. Stay sharp.